In this tutorial, we're going to simplify and evaluate expressions. I want to start off by talking about exponents. Now, you remember what an exponent is. You have a number on the bottom called the base, and then a number up top here called the exponent. So, if I have 7 to the third power, that's telling us to multiply 7 with itself 3 times. 7 times 7 times 7. Now, we want to be kind of careful when we're dealing with negative bases when dealing with exponents. Now, in this top one, I have negative 3 to the fourth power. Now, naturally, you would think that's like saying negative 3 times itself 4 times. Negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, so forth. But that's not really the case. If you recall, the order of operations, PEMDAS. And PEMDAS, as you recall, P stands for parentheses, E exponents, M is multiplication and division, which happen at the same time from left to right, and then addition and subtraction happen last at the same time from left to right. Well, when we're looking at negative 3 to the fourth power, that negative in front of the 3 here, it's kind of like saying negative 1. And it's like we could rewrite this as negative 1 times 3. Well, negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. And multiplication happens after the exponent. So we have to take care of the exponent first when it's written like this. So, in other words, what this is really saying is it's like saying negative 1 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So that simplifies to negative 1 times 81, which is, of course, negative 81. Now, it's different when we have parentheses around that negative 3. The parentheses in operation, which is done first, forces that negative on the 3, or multiplying the negative 1, that invisible negative 1, with the 3 first, and then we apply it to the fourth power. So in this case, this is already going to be a negative 3 because of the parentheses, and then we're just going to multiply that negative 3 with itself 4 times, which would give us a positive 81. So you just have to be a little careful as you deal with these more and more. You'll get used to them. Now, let's look at another case where we're going to be simplifying an expression here. In this case, we're going to be using PEMDAS again. We start with the parentheses. Now, when we're dealing with the parentheses, we work from the inside out. You might want to write that down. We're going from the inside out. So, a little synchronization thing just popped up there. Anyway, so we will start with the stuff in here. So I have 3 plus 2 in parentheses times 2 plus negative 7, and we would work these parentheses within the brackets. Now again, brackets are parentheses. They just look different. So this is what I'm going to be doing first, the parentheses within the parentheses. So this is going to give me negative 1 times negative 7 plus 2 times 5, close the bracket, minus 5 to the second power. Okay, so we're going to continue working from the inside out. So here we have a negative 7 plus a 2 times 5. Well, multiplication comes before addition and subtraction, so that's what we will do. So I'll have negative 7, and I'm going to drop the parentheses on the negative 7 because there's nothing else in there with the negative 7 that's going to be of any importance. And then I'm just going to say 2 times 5, which is 10. And then the 5 squared at the end. All right, So we still have our last set of parentheses, and we're gonna perform that operation. So negative 7 plus 10, which will give us a positive 3. I'll just use parentheses in this case. It's the same thing as a bracket. Minus 5 squared. Okay, so we're subtracting a 5 squared, and we have an exponent here, we have subtraction here, and we have multiplication here. So what's the first thing we want to do? The exponent. So that's going to be 5 squared, which is 25. Now, I have multiplication and subtraction left, so I'm just going to say negative 1 times 3, which is negative 3 minus 25. And finally, I can say negative 3 minus 25, which is going to give me a negative 28 to finish up this problem. Now, I showed every little step that I could. You don't have to show all these steps, but you do need to show quite a few so we know what's going on. And if you make a mistake, we can pinpoint where you made that mistake. Anyway, that's the end of this tutorial.